follow-up question. The pandemic situation has forced us that many other businesses to change the way of work. How do you expect the ICT channel to work in a post-pandemic world, especially when it comes to interaction with customers and partners?
We expect that this, what everybody call new normal, will stay with us maybe till beginning of next year, maybe till summer or spring next year. Then we expect that the next normal will not be the old normal. We expect, and I said it to my shareholders and to my people, to our people, let me say that, is because the 3 E's. The one is economical. Why should I have big offices or I have expensive flats in city to work in an office? It doesn't make sense. If we show in the new normal that we are able to work remote. Second, the second E, I call it emotional. Why should I be 2 hours in a traffic jam to go to the office if I can work from home? Why should I take distance of family and friends if I can work from home? And the 3E is ecological. The CO2 consumptions produced in a virtual world are by far lower than the CO2 consumptions and emissions in the minute we are moving ourselves. That has, at the same time, very good news from the quality of human life, because if we are able to do that, the quality of human life will improve. A lot of people will be able to be with their families and work very hard. But for that is remote communication, is cybersecurity an important factor of the developing there. We must be honest, till today, our virtual or remote communication is very basic, very basic. I believe, and I know that a lot of new innovations there are coming, not only from the perspective of devices, from imaging, from utilization of software to improve this sales approach, let me say that like that, either from the perspective of cybersecurity, giving us an ecosystem where we feel safe, where we don't think, and I am not talking about a two-factor authentication, which for me is a old stuff, let me say that. I am talking about additional cybersecurity protocols who will enable, and with artificial intelligence, will enable us to have a more secure way of communicating and sharing. No? I think that at the same time, we will change in this next normal the way how we are working in a hybrid mode. It will be hybrid. We will decide more conscious whom we want to meet. We will decide more conscious which meetings we will do. I don't believe that the big conferences like in the past will be like 5 years or 3 years ago. And I believe, yes, we will have the conferences, but they will be more focused, more specific. No, and that is a big advantage from this 3E perspective, let me say that.
What I would really like to get, because I know that certainly you, Patrick, and you, Stefan, are specialists as well in data centers. What is your perception of, if we're talking about private cloud, hybrid cloud, on-prem, off-prem, because there is a lot of movement there, right? And also, if we're talking about security, because that's a big thing there, you know, I mean, yes, you do know. So could you give us a bit of insight there? Where is the market going? What's happening?
I would like to start maybe. So what we see is that we have like a big movement in the market forced from the hyperscalers. What we see is like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, whoever is coming there, Alibaba, they are driving really fast And what they are doing this is a very good connection to my last question, is that they want to get into the direct customer situation. So we see a big challenge in keeping the customer in future. So what we see is, for us, a very important thing is to find a way to be necessary for customers in the long-term situation. Because what we see is like the hyperscalers, they are doing it very easy. Like, okay, you can just click and take and however. And so you don't need us in the middle anymore. So we don't make the license deals anymore. So you can switch from A to B very easy. We are going very fast and pay-as-you-go models. So everything is as a service, and it is handled from the software companies, no longer from us. What we see is what is a big thing is to handle the connectivity. So we see ourselves in a situation that we say, okay, we have like a multi-cloud environment. This is what the future is, maybe the nearer future. I don't know if it will be all public cloud in the longer future. No, I don't know it. But actually, we have like a multi-cloud situation. Especially the medium-sized customers in Germany, just the biggest part of our customers, is like, okay, we have like some systems that we want to keep it in on-prem or private cloud. We go with services into shared public cloud situations. We need like for our containers, we need like Amazon with Docker, and we do our IoT recognizing, picture recognizing, whatever with AI with Azure, and we have like our M365 things, and what we need is like a breakout for that, and we want to be the ones who manage the connection. And if we can be the company who's responsible for managing this, we will be successful in future. If we cannot be that company, in our business model will be very, very hard, because in a multi-cloud environment in future, this will be our place as system integrator, managed service provider, or whatever, because the typical IT system integrator, like we are selling hardware and software and licenses and do like a little service, I think they don't have a future. This is how I see the market, actually, my personal opinion.
Patrick, do you agree?
I think in the future we have more of hybrid data center solutions. We think in perimeters. I don't know the word in English, it's the same in perimeters. And when we have a high-risk perimeter, then we make the service in a secure data center in the country by a provider. I know where is the company, where is the people they work in this company. And services we can take from other big hyperscaler, Microsoft 365 and other services. I think we can, that's no problem. We use from a public cloud, but the business software, we think it's better when we have in a private cloud service, not in a public cloud service. And we have backup services. We have in control. We have all the snapshots under control. And we think that the hybrid service is the right level for our customers and for us.
Interesting. I have a personal opinion. I think we were not able till now to explain our end customers what is the advantage and disadvantage for hyperscaler, local hosting, or own hosting. I believe that we are still in the discussion. We talk every time about data. I like the peripherals, Patrick. I like the peripherals because data is not data. And I believe that explaining our end customers, especially our end customers, your end customers, what is the advantage and disadvantage of having certain data in the hyperscaling, certain data in the local network, and certain data in your own data center, is giving exactly what Stefan is saying, us the opportunity to be an orchestrator.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Our aim should be in the future be the conductor.
But changing the whole economy of a company from investing in capital investments and changing all that over to having monthly fees and then be able to scale up and down. I think the whole pandemic has shown that some companies needed to be able to scale down very fast, and some companies needed to scale up very fast in every aspect. So being able to be agile in terms of IT solutions is definitely it's obvious. It's a big market, I think.
I agree.
Gustavo, what do you see? Yeah.
I agree 100% with you. First of all, I think today, or after the cloud, not today, the last 10 years, a lot of new definitions are coming. MSPs, ISVs, SIs, blah, blah. Nobody wants to be reseller now. Because I talk with a lot of people who say, no, I am not reseller, I am MSP, no, I am ISV. I say, okay, interesting to hear that, because the clear definition, who is an MSP, is not there. How much percentage of your turnover is coming from there or not? It's even. Second, I believe that the world will be hybrid. The world will be not only as a service. That is true, in my opinion, it depends on so many dimensions, like which industry are we talking? The maturity of the industry in the country, the tax policy in the country, or tax laws in the country, the cash situation of the company, the depreciation policy of the company. And it depends on the product category, because if there are product categories which are more commodities, which I said, okay, because I have the cash and I have a very interesting tax law in the country, I will buy. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have that as a service. And I think that we should not make the mistake, and sometimes the industries, they see a new toy. Now the new toy is as a service. Everything should be as a service. And I'm saying we are selling technology. And that is the commitment we should have. If we sell that in a way that as a service or as a transaction, then that is a second role. Because if the technology is not functioning, you don't take care if it's as a service or it's transactional. Important is that the technology works. Important is that our ecosystem is getting better. And the second way is to say how to sell it. And it depends, one time more, on so many dimensions that I don't believe we can say one fits all. Yes, there are a lot of startup companies they want as a service, but we don't know why. We know why, because the cash situation is not very nice, that they can afford to buy everything as a transaction. Or, for example, we had a nice project, I think it was in Netherlands, that we calculate as a service what is the advantage, but they realized they must put a lot of money to reduce the IT department 1 year payment. And the project was not more affordable for them. What I'm saying is, important is to understand where is the impact for our end customers. And the impact can only be, I improve the turnover, I improve margins through the quality of the turnover, or I reduce OPEX. But there is nothing more.